Hello everyone. I hope you all are doing well. Today we are going to discuss Navier-Stokes equation. Let me introduce myself. I am Dr. Saurabh Dubekar. I am the course coordinator for transport phenomena for final year chemical engineering students at LIT Nagpur. We will start with the guidelines. The general guidelines for this particular session is that you have to make sure that you are carrying something to write upon to take notes. The PowerPoint presentation has recorded voice, so please use headset. Make sure you have got a latest update of Microsoft Office. Older version can also serve the purpose. And feel free to contact me in case of any specific queries. And also there are some home care guidelines that are given by WHO, that is to wash your hands with soap and water regularly. Avoid unnecessary exposure to any ill person. When coughing or sneezing, cover your mouth with flexed elbow and keep on monitoring your health status. And in case if you have got any symptoms, please contact your family doctor. Till now, what we have discussed is equation of continuity and equation of motion. Uh, as you all know, the equation of continuity and equation of motion are more on basic mass balance and momentum balance. So Navier-Stokes equation is also a modified form of equation of motion, wherein we take into account the convective momentum as well as molecular momentum and the external forces acting. So equation Navier-Stokes equation starts with a basic momentum balance in which we take rate of convective momentum in, rate of convective momentum out, rate of molecular momentum in, and rate of molecular momentum out, plus the momentum that is coming in due to external forces. Right? So consider a finite element of fluid of dimensions delta x, delta y, and delta z. So this is delta x and x, z, y. Right? So delta x, delta y, and delta z. Some velocity, the fluid is having some velocity in vx, vy, and vz in x, y, and z direction respectively. So having a basic momentum balance over the finite element, we get rate of convective momentum in minus rate of convective momentum out plus rate of molecular momentum in, that is due to shear stress, minus rate of molecular momentum out plus external forces acting on the finite element. This will be equal to rate of increase or decrease of momentum in the finite element. Now we'll consider every term and we'll try to discuss how this momentum balance helps in getting us a relevant equation. So on the RHS we saw was rate of increase or decrease of momentum. This is, as such, we have taken it from equation of motion, that is this is the volume of the finite element and this is the rate of change of momentum of the finite element, right? So this gives us the rate of either increase or decrease of momentum in the finite element. So there are two kinds of external forces that are the body forces acting on it. This is external force due to pressure. So let us consider in x direction, at x surface P is the pressure, right? So external forces due to pressure would be pressure at x minus pressure at x plus delta x into the area, right? So now this pressure acts on the surface area, whereas gravity acts on the whole body, right? So gravity forces, it would be defined by the momentum that is coming inside the finite element due to gravity. It will be given by rho into gx, that is the x component of gravity, into delta x, delta y, and delta z, right? So these two equations are the momentum which are due to external forces, right? In equation of motion, external forces due to pressure we haven't have not considered, right? But in modified Navier-Stokes equation, we consider the momentum due to external forces due to pressure. Uh, Now rate of convective momentum in at surface, this is the momentum in x direction and this is the velocity in x direction. So this both will become the convective momentum flux in x at x surface. So we have to multiply it by delta y delta z. So this becomes flux into area. This will give you rate of convective momentum in at x surface. Correct. Similarly, rate of convective momentum out at x plus delta x surface will be given by the flux, that is momentum in x direction into velocity in x direction at x plus delta x into, so this becomes flux of convective momentum flux into area. This will give us the rate of convective momentum out. Similarly, for convective momentum in at y surface would be momentum in y direction. This is the velocity in x direction, so this is due to x. What is the momentum that is carried in y direction, right? So this again becomes flux into total area on which this particular momentum is acting upon, right? Similarly, rate of convective momentum out at y plus delta y surface, it will be equal to rho into Vy into Vx at y plus delta y into delta x delta z. Now rate of convective momentum in at z surface, it is equal to rho into Vz into Vx at z into delta x delta y. And similarly, rate of convective momentum out at z plus delta z surface, it will be equal to rho into Vz into Vx at z plus delta z into delta x delta y. So in this, what you have considered is there are three surfaces of the finite element or the control volume that are at x surface, y surface and z surface. There is convective momentum which is coming into the finite element, and then there are other opposite three surfaces from where convective momentum is going out of the control volume. I hope that is clear. We will consider rate of molecular momentum, right? So molecular momentum, that is the shear stress that is imparted. So the rate of molecular momentum in at x surface will be tau xx at x into delta y delta z. Again, here this is the second subscript. X represents principal velocity direction and this x represents the direction where molecular momentum is transferred, right? So rate of molecular momentum in at x surface is given by tau xx at x into delta y delta z. Now similarly, rate of molecular momentum out at x plus delta x surface will be equal to tau xx at x plus delta x into delta y delta z. Similarly, rate of molecular momentum in at y surface, it is equal to tau yx, that is the molecular momentum due to principal velocity direction x that is transferred in y direction. So rate of molecular momentum in at y surface will be equal to tau yx at y into delta x delta z, and rate of molecular momentum out at y plus delta z y plus delta y surface will be equal to tau yx at y plus delta y into delta x delta z. Now rate of molecular momentum in at z surface will be equal to tau of zx at z into delta x delta y, and rate of molecular momentum out at z plus delta z surface is tau zx at z plus delta z delta x delta y. I hope this is clear. We are am repeatedly am repeatedly using these equations so that it becomes easier for you to understand that how convective momentum and molecular momentum, how these are coming into the finite element and how they are getting out of the finite element, right? So for all the terms which are having molecular momentum out, this term and this term, they'll have a negative value, and these term would be positive in the mass balance. Correct? We try and take out all the terms and put it in one go. This is the equation that we get. That is on the left, LHS we have is the accumulation of momentum in the finite element. Correct? Now this is equal to what? This is the volume and rate of change of momentum in that volume. This will be equal to the, this is the convective momentum in at x surface, convective momentum out at x plus delta x surface, convective momentum in at y surface, convective momentum out at y plus delta y surface, convective momentum in at z surface, convective momentum out at z plus delta z surface, molecular momentum in at x surface, molecular momentum out at x plus delta x surface, molecular momentum in at y surface, molecular momentum out by y plus delta y surface, molecular momentum in at z surface, molecular momentum out at z plus delta z surface, pressure in at x surface minus pressure out at x plus delta x surface. This is one value, this is one term, and momentum due to gravity, that is rho gx into delta x delta y delta z. I hope all these terms are very clear. See, once you understand what kind of terms are there, how they are, what is the physical relevance of this, it will become easier for you to understand, because the only thing that you have to learn it by heart would be the momentum balance or mass balance or heat balance, right? The trick to understand all these scenarios are, you have to take into account, you have to analyze a particular system in terms of that finite element. So if it is a momentum balance, you have to identify what are the different ways in which momentum will come into the control volume, and what are the ways in which the momentum will go out of the control volume, right? So there would be some body forces acting on it, there will be some surface forces acting on it, right? So those will also impart some or other momentum into the control volume, so you have to take that also into account, right? So once this particular equation is set, then the procedure is similar to what we followed in equation of continuity and equation of motion, that is dividing both sides by delta x delta y delta z and taking limits delta x tends to 0, delta y tends to 0, and delta z tends to 0, right? So what we are doing over here is we are solving this to get a more meaningful correlation between how momentum is changing with time and how can we predict change of momentum inside the finite element. So after taking limits delta x tends to 0, delta y tends to 0, delta z tends to 0, we are we get this equation. On the left, it is change of momentum with respect to time, that in x direction. This is the x momentum that is changing with respect to time. Okay, so this is equal to minus of del x of rho vx x. So this is the convective momentum in x direction, right? This is again the convective momentum in x direction itself, but this is y, rho into vy, right? Similarly, del by del z of rho vz into vx. So this is the convective momentum due to velocity and due to principal velocity x and z direction. So these both will have a vector which will have its own momentum, correct? Rho gx will be the velocity, will be the momentum in due to gravity, minus del rho by del p by del x, this is the pressure that is changing, right? Minus del x of tau xx plus del y by tau yx plus del z by tau tau zx, right? So these are all, this is for change of momentum in x direction. Similarly, we can get change of momentum in y direction and change of momentum in z direction, right? So these things, if we convert it into a more concise form, basically we have to solve these. We have to open this bracket, you have to consider rho into vx as one term, this, and vx as another term, and expand it, right? So on expanding and using equation of continuity, we get rho into substantial derivative. So obviously, as the case for equation of continuity, there will be some terms which will be there as you expand this particular bracket, and expansion is carried out by ddx of u into v. It is u into dv by dx plus v into du by dx, and you take those terms, relevant terms, to on the LHS, and you will get a substantial derivative over there, substantial time derivative on the left hand side. On the right hand side, it will be minus del of tau minus del of p plus rho g. So this becomes your Navier-Stokes equation. Further solving this, if we substitute tau is equal to minus mu del Vx by del x, this is the Newton's law of viscosity. We can put, if we put it over here, it will become mu into del square because of this del by del x, right? This becomes substantial time rho into the substantial time derivative of v will be equal to mu del square v minus del p plus rho g, right? So this takes into account all the three directions, and this is applicable for all the three directions, right? So this is actually the Navier-Stokes equation. Uh, the methodology that we have followed for x direction is the same for y direction, right? And in actual term, you have to uh, a question may arise that you have to find out a particular change of momentum in z direction, and for that you have to calculate the, and you have to derive the entire equation. So the primary methodology remains the same, only the terms will change. So do it yourself. Derive the Navier-Stokes equation, writing all the assumptions and nomenclature with neat, well-labeled diagram and explanation. And also you have to derive Navier-Stokes equation for y direction and z direction as well, right? Got any query, specific query regarding this presentation, you may contact me. These are my details. You can contact me on my cell phone, or you can directly mail me. This is my email ID. Thank you very much.